Welcome. Please take your seats. We will begin shortly. So you have about 1 minute. I don't know if you have a 1-minute song. We're going to not start late.
Somebody to tell you that life ain't past cut loose, foot loose, kick off your Sunday shoes. Ooh-wee, Marie, shake it for me. Whoa, Milo, come on, let's go. Loose, your blues. Everybody cut foot loose. Foot loose. Oh, cut foot loose. Oh, cut foot loose. Oh, cut foot loose. Oh, first you got to turn me around. Second, put your feet on the ground. Third, now take a hold of your soul. I'm turning it loose, foot loose. Kick off your Sunday shoes. Please, Louise, pull me off of my knees. Jack, get back. Come on before we crack. Loose, you're loose. Everybody cut, everybody cut. Everybody cut, everybody cut. Everybody cut, everybody cut. Everybody cut, foot loose.
Weren't they phenomenal? Let's give them one more hand of applause. Thank you to the King High School Quartet and the show choir. They were awesome. Welcome. I am Lynn Carmenade, the Chief Academic Officer for Riverside Unified School District. I'm very proud to be here today. It is our second State of the District, and we are delighted to have you all. We are grateful for your presence and for your support for all of our students and schools in Riverside. At this time, please welcome Arlington High School, JROTC, for the presentation of the colors. Miss Jacqueline Estron, who will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, and she is from our STEM High School. And finally, Eric Padua, who will lead us in the National Anthem, and he is from North High School.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming? Who
whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
You may be seated. We are so lucky to serve such impressive students in this district. At this time, we'd like to take a moment to thank our very generous event sponsors, and they're listed on the back of your program. We were able to raise $8,000 in student scholarships. Thank you so much. Thank you to our silver sponsors, Ultra Credit Union, Best and Krieger, California Baptist University, City of Riverside Community and Economic Development, Adrian Cisneros Agency, Farmers Insurance, DLR Group, Brian and Vicki Holly, the Mission Inn Hotel and Spa, Riverside Convention and Visitors Bureau, Riverside Police Department, Runau, Clark and Associates, Schools First Federal Credit Union, Thompson and Colgate, and Wells Fargo. A very special thank you to our gold level sponsor, Tilden Coil Constructors. Also, thank you to our event partners, Greater Riverside Chamber of Commerce and Riverside Educational Enrichment Foundation. We are so grateful for all of your partnership, that you would support our district, every site, and all of our students in a common purpose. At this time, we are going to be open for lunch, and we want to provide you with some special entertainment as we start, and then we will begin our program shortly. Thank you. Enjoy your lunch.
heart, don't fail me now. Courage, don't desert me. Don't turn back now that we're here. People always say life is full of choices. No one ever mentions fear or how the world can seem so vast on this journey.
start spreading the news. I'm leaving today. I wanna be a part of it. New York, New York, these vagabond shoes are longing to stray and step around the heart of it. New York, New York, I wanna wake up in the city that doesn't sleep, to find I'm a king of the hill, top of the heap. My little town blues are melting away. I'll make a brand new start of it in old New York. If I can make it there, I'd make it anywhere. It's up to you, New York, New York. New York, New York, I wanna wake up in the city that doesn't sleep, to find I'm king of the hill, head of the list, cream of the crop at the top of the heap. My little town blues are melting away. I'll make a brand new start of it in old New York. If I can make it there, I'd make it anywhere. Come on, come through, New York, New
Great job. Thank you to Ramona High School soloist Bella McCullum, Summit View pianist Ray Ushigubo, and Ramona High School Dance Ensemble. What an exceptional performance. Thank you. At this time, I would like to invite our board president up to make some remarks. Board President Lee is a lifelong resident and has served on the board since 2013. Mr. Lee is an esteemed community member and leader with a commitment to serve every student in our district. He and his beautiful wife, Anna, are also both proud graduates of the Riverside Unified School District. Please welcome President Lee.
All right, well, good afternoon, everybody. On behalf of the Riverside Unified Board of Education, our 4,000 employees, our 42,000 students, welcome to the 2017 State of the District. As you heard, my name is Brent Lee, and as a former RUSD student and a current RUSD parent, it is an honor to serve as the president of the Board of Education for my hometown. I'd like to take a moment and introduce a few of my fellow trustees on the board. Patricia Lock-Dawson, Angela Farouk, Tom Hunt, and Kathy Allaby. Also here with us today are our 3 student board members, Michelle Bulos, Montserrat Alvarado, and Bryn Coulterman. I'd also like to introduce some special guests with us here today, and as I call your name, if you could please stand and remain standing. Audience, please hold your applause until all the guests are introduced. Riverside Mayor Rusty Bailey. City of Riverside Councilman Chris MacArthur. Riverside City Superintendent, or Riverside County Superintendent of Schools, Dr. Judy White. And County of Riverside District Attorney Mike Hestron. We also have some representatives with us here today representing elected officials. From Senator Roth's office, Denise Lopez. From Congressman Mark Takano's office, Rafael Elizalde and Lana Abbasi. From Assemblymember Jose Medina's office, Carmen Cuevas and Tiffany Tran. And from Assemblymember Sabrina Cervantes' office, David Santalin. Thank you all for being here. All right, so let's get started. So how many of you here today attended RUSD schools? If you could raise your hand, all right? Keep your hands up. How many of you here today have a child or grandchild that has attended or attends an RUSD school? That's what I thought. So look around the room. This school district has had a profound impact on just about every one of us and has so in this community for the last 100 plus years. Schools are the centers for thriving communities where everyone is welcome to work with one another to provide opportunities for young scholars to be successful. And today, with all of you, we can ensure educational advancement and life and career opportunities for our students who are the future leaders of Riverside. The role of the school board is to ensure that school districts are responsive to the values, the beliefs, and the priorities of their communities. And as a board, we set goals and provide a vision to our superintendent, Dr. Hansen. At the core of our goals is to make literacy by the 3rd grade our primary focus. Statistics show that those that learn to read by the 3rd grade read to learn moving forward and are far more likely to be successful in their educational journey and go on to college. To strive for that goal that every child will read by the 3rd grade, it will take more than just the latest textbook adoption, literacy app, or intervention. To make literacy by the 3rd grade a reality for every student, it will take skilled and dedicated educators who are equipped with knowledge, passion, and support. We want to attract the best educators to work with our school district, and that is why this district has recently invested in an innovative approach to supporting newly credentialed teachers, teachers new to our district, and teachers that are struggling and need support. This new support program is called Professional Growth System, and it is modeled after a successful district in Maryland that over the last 2 decades has become a magnet for the best and the brightest teachers, which has had a positive effect on student achievement and has a positive impact on the economic development of their community. I have no doubt that we will see the same results here in our own community. RUSD is committed to the goal with providing students with college and career readiness opportunities, and we cannot do it alone. Riverside is blessed to have several institutions of higher learning in our community, and it is in collaboration with these colleges and universities that we can best provide these opportunities. Currently, RUSD high school students can be dually enrolled at an area high school and Riverside College, City College, simultaneously earning credits for high school and college. We look forward to expanding this partnership with RCC so more students have the opportunity to take rigorous courses and get ahead, and if they do go on to RCC, be able to finish in 2 years and transfer to a 4-year university. Further, this past summer, RUSD and UCR signed an agreement to build a 21st century STEM high school on UCR's campus for our high school scholars. This campus, yeah, you can clap for that. This campus will offer rigorous science, technology, engineering, and mathematics-focused coursework. In addition, transportation will be provided, making it accessible to our diverse student population desiring a STEM-centered education. This center will be the first of its kind in our region and will attract more young families and new businesses to our community. One of Riverside's greatest assets is our diversity. RUSD is a welcome place for all students, no matter their race, color, religion, creed, sexual orientation, immigration status, or the language they speak. This board is committed to serving every student, every day. We recognize that an achievement gap exists, and we are committed to a collective vision to close it. We are committed to the 7,000 students in our district that are classified as English language learners and ensuring they are learning the language faster while preserving their native language and culture. One way in which we accomplish this is through our dual language immersion programs, which now exists at 7 school sites. We are committed to our students of color who historically have experienced less success when compared to their peers, and programs like Heritage and Legacy are designed to increase the support and close the achievement gap. We are committed to our more than 25,000 students whose families fall in a low socioeconomic status. We have made significant investments in growing successful programs like AVID, expanding after-school programs, and increasing opportunities for extracurricular and athletics, music programs, and community service clubs through our Schools Plus 2 initiative. And we are committed to our more than 4,000 students in special education, ensuring we are working with students and their families to provide a customized and innovative support system, at the same time being flexible and empathetic to the needs of the student, with the goal of providing the least restrictive environment and allowing the student to reach their full potential. We will continue to build and refine our systems of support for all students so that every student has their opportunity of reaching their highest potential. Riverside is the city of arts and innovation, and RUSD is a district that is both innovative and committed to providing visual and performing arts experiences for our students. As a board, it is our goal to strengthen our visual and performing arts programs to a point of excellence. Over the last year, we have collaborated with dozens of community leaders to create a comprehensive visual and performing arts plan. Students with comprehensive art education are more connected to their schools, achieve higher academic success, and are more likely to go on to college. As this plan is implemented, we are confident that this district will provide visual and performing arts programs this community will be proud of. As we embark on another school year, we look to achieve these goals and more. We are thankful to all of our community for working with us as we continue to strengthen this district and attract and retain human and business capital to better our community's quality of life. I'd be remiss if I didn't thank all of you who supported our school bond measure, Measure O. The volunteers and outreach was greatly appreciated. More than 70% of voters marked their ballot in support of enhancing, improving, and creating better learning environments for our students to learn in, and I think that says a lot about our community. Dr. Hansen, I know, has plans to share more details on what's to come with your Measure O dollars. Some have said that education is the great equalizer, but I have a different perspective. We don't want a system that is the same for every student. It is our job in education not to make everyone equal. It is our job to assess every student's unique abilities and needs and provide equitable opportunities. I see education as the great equityizer, and this is the vision for RUSD. Education is the cornerstone to every community and local economy. The students we educate and equip are our future, and we rely on their investment, on the investment of our community to help our schools and our students reach their potential. As a board, we are excited about the direction this district is headed in. This is not the district that my wife and I graduated from 20 years ago. We are poised to become a school district that drives where families and businesses plant roots. And I am confident that the innovative work that the professionals in this district are doing is the beginning of making RUSD the premier district in our region. And our board, our district administrators, our teachers, and our staff will continue to make RUSD a leading destination and a great place to learn for every student every day. At this time, thank you. At this time, please turn your attention to the screen for a brief video highlighting some of the great things happening in our district.
This at all creates that seed in the mind that there's a light at the end of the tunnel for them. This was worth every single minute.
Undescribable, like it's such an honor. I can't believe I'm actually here and to be able to like be an example for so many like future classes. It's just something that like I would have never thought I would be doing.
I think Heritage is just a great opportunity to be in. It's a community where we share the same goals.
Just really set on being successful and just not being anything less than I know what I can succeed.
Avid does a lot for you, honestly, and it helps you with your homework, it helps you with tests, it helps you just to be organized in life, period, and it helps you to get into college.
It's one of my dream colleges, so I'm super excited that I got accepted. Like, I'm gonna cry, but I'm not going to cry.
I have gotten accepted to these two schools on a full rank.
My mom always says that to try and make something of yourself and that you can't really get anything in life unless you have your education, so I just knew that what I have to do to get to college to be somebody.
I just wanted to talk to as much college as I can and get a lot of information.
I'm glad she's being proactive in her educational goals, and that's something I like to see.
I think it's amazing that, you know, I see a lot of people here around school and other schools, and it's just cool. It's a great community, and we all have one goal, is to go to college.
It's exciting to me because it's something she enjoyed doing, and that excites me when she's excited.
We get a different feel for it than in a book, reading out of it, and just because half the time kids fall asleep during the books and all that, but we're actually getting to meet the person that was in the war.
We learned about all the different aspects into broadcasting a show.
I never knew a lot about television until I came here.
Something to like make us do better, because we know that somebody's out there watching out for us.
It was a surprise that we got it, but the fact that it came from Kauai made it like that much better.
I saw a lot of musical equipment. I noticed the drums and the piano immediately.
They're getting a studio experience. Hopefully they're getting inspired. That's the main thing.
It's huge for the kids. First of all, we get to see that the kids are really interested in getting jobs.
We're going to be doing a lot of fire training and things like that. And us being in the health academy, we're crazy about like getting out there to help people.
I'm getting my career set, saying, oh, I want to be a firefighter now or a paramedic.
It makes me believe that I can do anything. Even just being here, it just gives me confidence that I'm here, I can make it happen.
This is really what education's all about. Providing kids unique experiences, making learning fun.
I saw that Agent Grease, it was amazing.
Yeah, it is kind of being there, but you can't see yourself.
We've taken advantage of a fantastic program through California Fish and Wildlife.
I needed to know what we have to do to raise our trout. First, we have to feed them every day.
Well, I wanted to get Dayan out of the house, and he always likes to play video games, so I figured robotics, maybe computers, would get him interested.
We plugged in all the wires. We had a little bumps on the way. It takes a lot of hard work and dedication, but it's really fun.
They've learned how to create a logo. They've built a product themselves, and they've learned a little bit about business plans.
We're really talking about building strength in unity and relationship.
I think this is the one memory I will never forget.
I'm going to be telling my kids, my grandkids, and if I live long enough, their grandkids.
And trying to help our kids to have better character, to make better choices.
We learned a lot of stuff about don't be a bully, take care of other situations differently. There was a lot of funny parts, and I liked this so much. Because we can learn how to read.
It's a wonderful opportunity for our kids who might not have had the opportunity to learn how to swim.
I learned how to do flip turns, how to dive.
The interaction that our students have, okay, with all the special ed students that are coming out here and performing their Olympic events, it's just such a treat to watch.
It's just a really exciting time. I mean, they all get to have a chance to be in the spotlight, so that's awesome.
Having the kids dress up, play pretend, will just encourage their development, so I think it's wonderful.
Flash. A ladybug.
Research indicates for any student, early intervention and exposure to curriculum at an earlier age gets you a head start.
Let's go to school.
Matter of fact, I love it. It's a really a good opportunity for the little kids to grow.
I encourage every parent, every friend, everybody that I know that has a 3-year-old, 4-year-old, bring them to preschool.
I do like my ABCs and I like going to preschool.
To college, let's go!
It's awesome. I'm truly inspired and energized by all of the work that our educators do, but also our students. It's wonderful. At this time, which is my favorite time in the program, I'd like to introduce to you our student speaker from Poly High School. She's a track athlete and star. She is a leading member of the Black Student Union, and this awesome young lady actually started and founded a chapter of Girls Who Code at Poly High School. We are very proud to bring to you RUSD's best and finest. Please join me in welcoming Miss Ayanna Johnson.
Thank you. I can still remember hearing the door open at 3 in the morning. This became my personal alarm clock and set in motion my daily routine. I always wondered what went on in my mother's head as she worked long and difficult hours to provide for my brothers and I. Having come out of an emotionally trying divorce, my mother moved us to Hemet, where she tirelessly worked such that she could afford a home to provide for our humble family, all of which she did on her own. No matter what was going on and personal challenges she faced, she was committed to ensuring that I was okay. I watched her from afar. What she didn't know, when she didn't know, I was looking. At times, I would see pain, sleepless nights, anxiety. I knew that her daily commute to FedEx included a dangerous drive through the valley that offered little to no light. Day in and day out, she was committed to this routine. I have seen her in the ups, the downs, sacrifices and loss, hurt and pure joy, in all the seeds of resilience, passion, and what it means to be an independent woman were firmly planted in my mind and in my heart. I want to thank the entire Riverside Unified School District Board of Education, Board President Lee, and Superintendent Dr. Hansen for giving me the opportunity to be with you here today and share my journey. I'm especially grateful that my family, namely that hardworking mom who has sacrificed so much for me and my 2 brothers. Mom, if you would please stand now. From the bottom of my heart, thank you. I love you. I had always envisioned myself at some point in my life standing in front of a large audience such as this and sharing my gratitude to you. Bucket list item number 1, check. Still in Hemet, I make the 68-mile round trip to Riverside Poly High School every day as the opportunities I am afforded in being a bear at a school with over 130 years worth of history, synonymous with the great city of Riverside, is a drive worth making. I make this drive every morning because I have learned that I am in fact not on my own, nor can I do it alone. There is something far greater in interdependence than independence, especially in today's world. It is about the people. It is about a culture of caring and empathy. Riverside Poly High School, indeed the world's greatest high school, has the best teachers, students, and community around. At Poly, we don't take classes based on the course, but rather we take classes to take the teacher. There was a book written some time ago entitled The 5 People You Meet in Heaven by Mitch Albom. In the book, the premise is based on the moment we die. We meet 5 people who we encountered in life that based on that meeting, our lives took a different direction. There's 5 people, the 5 people will be there, the ones that will show you your life story based on your encounters. I would like to introduce to you today those 5 people who changed my course, who without, I would not be the person I am becoming. In each of them, a valuable lesson has sustained and inspired me. If I were to ask the entire audience today to think of one teacher who made the biggest difference in your life, most of you would have that teacher in your mind in less than 3 seconds. And if I were to ask why that teacher made an impact on you, I would guarantee that your response would be the words, "They cared for me as a student and as a person." Lesson 1, I matter. Miss Alexia Wilson. Miss Wilson is more than a teacher to me. She is a friend and a role model. Wilson made me feel that not only was my opinion valued, but who I was as a person mattered. That learning was more than just remembering the facts, that was a reflection of who I am and what I value. This relationship started my sophomore year in my English class, where she introduced us to new ideas, philosophical ways of thinking and interpreting current events, ethical and moral dilemmas that changed our own beliefs, and did all this with a unique sense of humor and grace of thought. For Miss Wilson, learning was more than simply turning in papers. It was about connecting and challenging students. In a rare way, that made us not want to disappoint her. Miss Wilson instilled so much in us. She became my quasi-school mom, who knew even when we weren't trying our best, Miss Wilson made it so that we mattered. Lesson 2, I can create the future I desire. Mr. Alex Lowry. During my time in Mr. Lowry's class, I was introduced to the future I always knew and I always wanted, but I never knew how to attain. Mr. Lowry was the type of teacher to push through it all, to make sure we realize our educational potential, and how our steps now will be the foundation we lay down for our future. He introduced me to engineering and showed me how not only I would be comfortable financially, but how with that type of education background, my future had endless possibilities and literally anything I could imagine or desire would be achievable. His punch led me to a women's symposium where I saw women in science and share how far their life had come in a career path that was dominated by men. A light bulb went off. Lesson 3, never give up. Give in and surrender to your personal greatness. Miss Michelle Filia. This is a special teacher to me because her resilience is infectious and resembles my mom's struggle. My goal to emulate those qualities and develop a belief in myself that I can persevere through any circumstance. Filia was my pre-calculus teacher during my sophomore year and is currently my AP Computer Science principal's teacher. Miss Filia, during the short time I have known her, has gone through more than most will in a lifetime. With personal hardships she shouldered with us, demonstrating to me what it means to be a Poly family. She prevailed through and always made sure to model to us that even though life gets hard, we must sometimes surrender to what is, value the lessons that emerge in times of crisis, and own our own greatness that will come as we work through the pain. Lesson 4, how can I be of service to others? Mr. Anthony Zlackett. As John F. Kennedy asserted many years ago, ask not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country. His point is resonant with me, as my own role in civic and community effort is important to this community and ultimately nation. Mr. Zlackett opened my eyes to the importance of not only just advocating for ideas, but working in the service of one another to achieve a collective win-win. Lesson 5, keep the main thing, Miss Yuridia Nava. These implications of dedication, Workmanship and persistence did not end in the classroom. Poly was overflowing with not only teachers who molded us, but support staff as well. This was exemplified with Miss Nava, my counselor, who is annoying as they come. She constantly pushed me to become the best student I could be by helping me keep my focus on what was important: life, balance, and authentic learning. She provided me a shoulder to cry on when times got tough and had no problem holding me accountable to the woman I will be becoming. There is a pattern throughout these stories about the qualities these teachers demonstrated: passion for their career, respect for their students, integrity to their day-to-day life, determination to see each student succeed, and extraordinary amounts of courage and patience to wake up every day and work with Dr. Rowe, who we all know can be a little funny, well, frankly, crazy at times. These teachers embodied poly pride, but lets me know the effort that is put in throughout the district to find the best and give each student the opportunity to excel. My mother was correct that poly would be an incredible blessing. However, I think both of us underestimated the challenges that laid ahead. Not only was there an endless amount of rigorous AP classes and commitments outside the classroom with RUSD's focus on Schools +2 initiative, I worked hard and ran track, where I excelled in pole vaulting. I won league title, thank you. In addition, I swam for Poly my sophomore year, a school that was home to Olympian Tyler Clary. I've been involved in Black Student Union, who work closely with MECHA and other student groups in our Harvard Making Caring Common initiative. In my sophomore year, Roe approached me to lead an effort on campus where we engaged students in productive conversations around race, mental health challenges, and seeking ways to create a more caring school community. I currently serve in the capacity of Vice President in our ASB. Ms. Dowdy, my ASB advisor, gave me the chance and saw in me the potential for leadership. She referred to us on a daily basis as her little sunshines. She would then go on to explain that as we bring light to her day on a daily basis, the need to be that person to others on our campus and sharing that light of service is our true calling and contribution. There is something far greater in interdependence than independence, especially in today's world. My hope today is to show gratitude to RUSD and especially my Poly family for all the opportunities that have been afforded to me. Lastly, I leave with you two quotes from Lady Gaga and Tupac Shakur. Lady Gaga, sitting next to the Dalai Lama following the Vegas tragedy, stated, as I paraphrase, "Every day when we wake up, the best thing we can do for this planet and one another is to practice radical kindness to one another." This statement embodies the experience I have had with teachers in this great district. Tupac exclaimed, "We wouldn't ask why a rose that grew from the concrete for having damaged petals. In turn, we would all celebrate its tenacity. We would all love its will to reach for the sun. Well, we are the roses. This is the concrete, and these are my damaged petals. Don't ask me why. Thank God and ask me how." Thank you to all again for this opportunity, and always remember who you are and whose you are. I'm Ayanna Johnson, and I'm a child of God.
Good afternoon. I wish you could stand up here right now and see what I see. You're an absolutely marvelous sight to behold. Last year, we had a student speaker, Josh Beverly. And a few of you came up to me last year and said, "Lesson number 1, Dave, never follow a student speaker." Well, Ayanna, as we just heard, truly is a representation of the state of the 42,000 students in Riverside Unified School District. And Pamela Johnson, good job, Mom. Way to go.
Thank you.
It's great to follow a student speaker. She just said, "You got this, Superintendent. Good luck." Thank you, Ayanna. Well done. And as I mentioned, I wish you could stand here and really see what I see. It is a marvelous sight to behold, to see so many friends here celebrating and being part of Riverside Unified School District. On behalf of the Board of Trustees, our dedicated employees, and most importantly, our amazing, hardworking, and talented students who we've seen throughout the course of the afternoon, I want to express my sincerest appreciation and gratitude for each of you in attendance this afternoon. Your presence here today demonstrates your commitment to RUSD, which indicates that you share in our vision for a better community and a better city. Looking out and seeing all of you here today, as I mentioned, is evidence that we are a community who deeply cares and is united in a common mission. I'd like to begin by expressing my personal gratitude for our Board of Trustees, to whom you were introduced to earlier. I am grateful to each of you for your visionary leadership. It is your strength and high expectations that empowers this critical journey and path that we are on, the path of excellence. Thank you for putting our district in such a wonderful position to share all this great news with our audience today. And thank you to our student board members who you were introduced to previously when President Lee spoke. It is absolutely wonderful to have student voice and to hear their powerful perspective in all of our discussions and decisions. I'd also like to acknowledge the members of the Executive Cabinet. Chief Academic Officer Lynn Carmody, Chief Business Officer Mays Kakish, and Assistant Superintendents Kylie Ibarra, Sergio San Martin, Tim Walker, Antonio Garcia, Dr. Jackie Perez, and Dr. Ryan Lewis. These are the individuals who are responsible for making the district run on a daily basis. They are an amazing team with incredible diverse skills, talents, and thinking, and it's absolutely a pleasure to serve with them. As I look out, and we did have some previous introductions, I see our city leaders here, Mayor Bailey, and I know that our city manager, John Russo, is here. Thank you for your support and for the partnership that we have, not with just our civic leaders. As I look out, I see we have business leaders. I see we have our partners from higher education, folks from the County Office of Education, and members of the Superintendent's Community Advisory Committee. I also see friends from a few of our private and church-operated schools, members of our faith-based community, and other community-based groups. Representatives from our healthcare industry are also here. And last, but certainly not least, members of our PTSA, DLAC, REEF, and CAC boards are here today, all of whom focus on increasing community, parent, and student involvement. Thank you. I also want to take a moment to recognize some of the lifeblood of Riverside Unified School District, and that is our students and parents. Will all of the students and the parents that are here today, would you please stand so we can appropriately recognize you? Thank you. We also have representatives from all of our schools and departments that are here. Will all the RUSD staff members please stand and be recognized as well? Thank you. And I know I'm going to hear about this later, but of course, Diane, my wife of 31 years. Would you please stand and be recognized? On occasion, people come up to me and ask me what I do for a living, and I tell them. However, I usually am quick to add that being a superintendent is what I do, but it's not who I am. Who I am is a husband, a father, and a grandfather. And just the other night, I came home from work, and 2 of our grandkids were in the backyard swimming, and they came running up to me, yelling, "Grandpa, Grandpa." Well, the best part of my day was their hugs and excitement to see me, and I need to say they were the wettest hugs I've ever received. Thank you, Diane, for your love, support, and encouragement, and for making family time, the very best part of life. I love you. The theme of today's event is the heart of the community, and all of you represent one of the most important parts of Riverside's educational vascular system. We seek to inhale fresh ideas from community partners like you, and then we exhale them into our 50 schools and many other programs and initiatives throughout the district. We have partners like the Riverside Chamber of Commerce, who hosts the annual College and Career Fair, and each year help sponsor our new employee welcome here in RUSD, or who are at their very best when advocating for K-12 education with our elected officials in Sacramento and Washington, D.C. Thank you, Cindy Roth. Our partners with Borns Incorporated, the Riverside Fire and Police Department, who provide high school students hands-on experiences with genetics labs, engineering products, and collaborative problem solving to improve performance for our first responders. And they're here at the police stand. Thank you, Gordon Borns. Thank you, Chief Diaz, and thank you, Chief Moore. We have a great relationship with our local university partners, UC Riverside, who provides college tutors for literally hundreds of our students and who generously open up their campus for college tours, lectures, and who send us a lot of student teachers and as well as their new teacher graduates. Thank you, Chancellor Wilcox, for your support and for being here today. Or there's the Riverside City College, which shares the goal to help dramatically increase the dual enrollment numbers for high school students, providing easy access into RCC and a four-year college. Now, this year, Dr. Isak allowed nearly 1,000 freshmen into RCC without any cost for tuition, books, or fees. Yes, you heard that right, and nearly 50% of those students came from RUSD. Well done, Dr. Isak. Also, California Baptist University partners with our engineering programs, and in addition, their nursing program partners with us, as well as the American Heart Association, to train, listen to this, nearly 6,000 middle and high school students in becoming CPR certified every single year. Imagine the lives that are being saved. Dr. Ellis could not be here, but Provost Dr. Sand is. Thank you so much, CBU. And there's one story of a partnership that even though it occurred the first week of school, it'll probably end up being one of my favorite stories of the year. It was best characterized by the great headline in the Press Enterprise, which is this: when the electricity went out, Riverside Area School turned to a higher power. During the first week of school, early Thursday morning, we learned High Grove Elementary School was without power, and that was also the hottest week of the year, and would be for the entire day. Well, we had a decision to make. Where would we hold classes? And there were really no ideal solutions. And here's my favorite part. Sandals Church stepped in and offered space, more efficient space than we could ever have imagined. What the incredible staff at Sandals may not have known was that they were directly supporting RUSD's core values of learning for all and well-being for everyone. Think about it. We lost power in the morning hours, yet relocated an entire elementary school over to Sandals without skipping a beat. Thank you, Sandals Church. You see, our focus on learning and well-being is not just an initiative, it is our priority. Research shows that a student succeeds when they are safe, when they have, rather, a safe, caring, engaging, and responsive environment. Social and emotional well-being creates the foundation for healthy behaviors and educational attainment. Just last year, right after the State of the District event, the Board of Education went immediately to work. That very same afternoon, they convened over at UCR to refocus and realign their board priorities, which you heard President Brent Lee talk about earlier this afternoon. And throughout the year, the board's priorities, discussions, and decisions have been consistently centered around learning and well-being for all. This means that each individual student will be educated and inspired to take advantage of life's responsibilities, regardless of their ethnicity, background, or immigration status. Let me give you some examples. Concerned about the sensitive topic of immigration, our board this past February passed a resolution declaring our campuses as safe learning zones for each student. And then they followed that up by creating a new board policy, clearly articulating what that means and looks like to be a safe learning zone for a Riverside school. Our board wanted to send a message to families and students, letting them know that our role is to love, educate all students. Let me share with you a story that embraces you see on this screen, well, I see on my screen, you'll see on yours soon. Let me share with you a story that embraces this assurances. It's about Jose, and with his permission, I'd like to share his story, which is the perfect example of our values in action. Jose Francisco Diego, born in a rural village in Guatemala, the youngest of 9 children, who at the age of 5 began selling sweets on the side of the road to help put food on his family's table. Jose's parents never had gone to school. They didn't have that privilege. Each were having to work to merely survive. However, Jose was lucky. He was actually able to attend school at least a few years up until age 15. At the age 15, desperately looking to flee the harsh reality of drugs, gangs, and poverty, Jose journeyed to the United States alone. He was detained at the U.S. border, and Jose remained in immigration detention centers for several weeks before finally being released and reunited with 2 of his older brothers who previously migrated to the United States, and their home was here in Riverside. Shortly after arriving to his new home, Jose enrolled at King High School, entering the 10th grade. Listen to this: knowing no English, knowing no Spanish, speaking a unique Guatemalan dialect, and having no school credits to put on his transcripts, Jose sat quietly in embarrassment, fear, and he felt a little bit of shame. He was unable to communicate or understand what was going on around him, but he did not give up. This past year, only 3 years later, Jose graduated from King High School, managing somehow to make up all of the credits that he was missing. And this fall, he began classes at our very own RCC. While it is without a doubt Jose's resilience and perseverance through adversity that brought him to this point, he credits the steadfast support, love, and unyielding encouragement of RUSD teachers and professional support staff for his success. They were his mentors, advocates, counselors, guardians, and friends. And I'm extremely proud and honored that Jose and one of his high school teachers, Kelsey Newton, were able to join us today. Jose and Kelsey, would you please stand and be recognized? I talked to Jose right before we got started, and he did say the RCC is a lot harder than high school. But he's doing it, so well done, Jose. A second example, in the past 18 months as a district, under the leadership of our board, we have hired 27 additional social and emotional counselors, 10 behavioral specialists, and 2 more specialized psychologists to identify, treat, and support students with social and emotional needs. The goal is not only preventative and early identification, but also to provide support in crisis if necessary. Recently, from the devastating and unexpected natural disasters like earthquakes or hurricanes, or destructive fires that sweep throughout entire communities, or outright hateful acts that occur in our communities, it appears to me that our world is hurting. This is why it's so imperative that our kids, as well as our staff, learn how to positively cope and persevere, rather than act out in negative or destructive behaviors. Just this month, students and staff have mourned the loss of Mr. Oscar Davilla, a recent North High School graduate and who was a current avid tutor at North High School, who was killed with his parents in a tragic automobile accident. Or Angie Gomez, former recent Poly High School graduate who was killed in a senseless tragedy in Las Vegas. Or Mr. Leo Caudell, a history teacher also from Poly High School, who passed away on October the 1st. And just yesterday, the phone rang, and we learned about the tearful news of Chris Mance, an 11-year-old Lake Matthews elementary school student who passed away. It is never easy to lose a member of the RUSD family, and over the years there have been many, many, many that have left us too prematurely, and it is never easy. But we are so grateful for all of our social and emotional experts who help lead and guide us during these difficult times. Their work is so very critical. Thank you. The examples I just gave you certainly center on our core values of learning and well-being for every student. And every student should absolutely know they are cared about and that we have their best interest in mind. However, so should every adult who works for RUSD, and there's 4,000 of them. That is why I'm so proud our Board of Education had the foresight to earmark resources for the professional growth system. This unique program is the only one like it in the entire state of California, which is designed to focus on employee growth and employee progress. In the current year, we're focusing on teachers. Next year, we'll bring along the administrators. And in 2 years, we will complete the rollout process by focusing on our professional support staff. Our student success is dependent on all of our teachers, administrators, and professional support staff being expertly prepared. Please bring your attention to the video screen for a more personal look at our professional growth system.
Professional growth systems is a way in which we are going to be supporting our teachers.
And we are working with our interns, our induction candidates, and anyone who is new to Riverside Unified.
In the past, when I've gone to a new school, it's been, here's your class, here are your keys, have a nice time.
Our support teachers would be in there helping the teachers with the strategies. How are they teaching that content?
The most important thing that happens in a school day happens in the classroom.
We're going to be working with them all year long. The frequency of our meetings with them is going to vary.
Ms. Hicken, my coach who comes in regularly, she comes in and asks me, do you need any support? Do you need me to test some of your kids?
Some might need support in classroom management strategies. Others might need support in questioning and engagement strategies. Some might need help with planning.
He sends me resources all the time on questioning techniques and all kinds of stuff like that.
On one hand, you don't want to overwhelm the teacher, but at the same time, you have to throw that life vest out.
If I'm struggling, if I feel like I'm sinking, she will come in right away and make sure I get the support I need.
And we have to be so careful to stand back and to allow them that growth.
And teaching is a complex profession. It's an art and it's a science.
If I have a question about anything district related or even, okay, back to school night's coming, what do I need to prep for that?
We're investing a lot in our teachers, and so we need to make sure that we provide the support necessary for them to be successful.
There's a reason we're in teaching. Our why is our kids, and we all hold on to that.
It's why we exist as an institution, and it is what we have to contribute the most to when it comes to the broader society.
When I got hired for this year, I was like, okay, I'm gonna need all the support I can get. It's my first year doing any of this. So yeah, it's been awesome.
If I were to say, rate this, 0 to 5, this would be a 5 experience for me.
I feel supported on all ends that I can do this.
You see, our school board understands very well that in our state and throughout the nation, we are heading into a teacher shortage, and that nearly 1 in 5 teachers leave the profession within the first 5 years. It is costly to our district and to our profession, and we are absolutely confident that because of this model, we will more easily be able to attract, train, and retain the very best and brightest teachers here to Riverside, as well as all employees. As you've just witnessed, preparedness comes from meticulous planning, coaching, modeling, and ensuring coherence throughout the organization. Last year, we provided all employees with our new Guide for Instructional Directions. It's our playbook, to use a sports analogy. You have a few copies on your tables that you can peruse or even take with you. The intent of the guide is to help all 4,000 employees understand our vision, values, goals, and the daily responsibilities that we have in serving every student every day. Affirming that all are guaranteed an education that ensures readiness for college, career, and the world. There are 4 explicit areas found in the guide which provide a common focus to our work. Number 1 is the mastery of essential learning, described in the portrait of the graduate, which denotes the skills and attributes that our students are expected to have by the time they leave us. Number 2, deepening the learning through high-quality instruction. Number 3, building capacity around collaboration focused on outcomes with constant real-time monitoring of student mastery. And last, whole system engagement, ensuring that staff, parents, and most importantly, students are engaged daily. This work is being accomplished through shared leadership in every classroom, every school, department, and throughout all divisions. I have asked each RUSD employee to study, learn, apply, and cascade the messages taught in the guide throughout the system or throughout the organization so that we can build and develop our coherence and create systemness throughout the district, ensuring students as well as all employees experience growth and success. Part of shared leadership is the data that we use to inform our instructional decisions. Last year, RUSD identified 12 success indicators to monitor our growth, raise the level of our work, as well as build our capacity throughout the entire organization. Just like in business, we too focus our discussions around data, planning next steps, identifying actions and behaviors, and evaluating outcomes. For the past decade and a half, our state and our nation has ranked schools around a single test given at the end of every school year. Schools were assigned a number or a ranking as their API, referred to as the Academic Performance Index. The public quickly began to label a school as good or not good. Home prices were affected. These rankings even affected the ability for businesses to attract employees to their cities or local regions, all around a single test score or ranking. Think about it for just a moment. How would you feel if your doctor diagnosed your health around a single indicator by simply taking your blood pressure or perhaps your temperature? What if the blood pressure was ranked on a scale of advanced, proficient, or below basic? Or even compared to every other patient in the doctor's office, and then the doctor's office was given a ranking or a score? Well, for several years now, we have all gone along with the myth that one score is adequate. However, thankfully, changes are happening in public education to better provide us with a comprehensive picture of the overall health of a school or a school district. The state now has identified 6 different indicators to now measure the success of a school district or a school. RUSD's 12 indicators not only mirror the state, but also gives us a deeper understanding of our schools here locally. Every state indicator will be reported on a simple 5x5, 5-colored square that you see on the screen. The goal is to see continuous improvement within each indicator. The 5 colors on the report represent the combination of both performance status and change, which emphasizes growth from one year to the next. You'll notice on the screen there is one cell that has a star. The state has set the goal for all districts and schools to reach this target within the next 7 years. There will be a separate report for each indicator. The state will officially release these reports late this fall this year. Here in RUSD, we added 6 additional indicators in the areas of academics and college and career readiness. On the screen right now, you will see an overall look at our success indicators measured just from this past year. The green shows improvement or growth. The orange shows where we dipped. It is the first year that we have monitored early numeracy, and we are still waiting on the final data from the state for high school graduation, which is why these 2 cells are gray. The following 2 success indicators are also measured by the state and show how we did on the Smarter Balanced Language Arts and Math assessments, taken by all 3rd through 8th grade students, as well as 11th grade students throughout the state. All, might I add, done on the computer. You see on the screen the state, the county, and RUSD. You may have noticed that just like the state shows overall, we too, here in RUSD, took a slight dip. Our teachers are working hard to plan and adjust their lessons using new language arts and math materials, and we anticipate increased student growth is on the horizon. This indicator shows our A through G completion rate for high school graduates. These are 15 courses that high school students need to pass with a grade of C or higher in order to be eligible to attend UC or Cal State universities. You can see the constant growth we have made in this A through G indicator. Let me share with you an example of one of our local RUSD indicators that measures reading by third grade. Early grades focus on foundational reading skills as well as reading comprehension. We measure this to ensure our students are reading by grade level before the end of third grade. While we still have work to do, the Board of Education and our instructional staff are committed to the continued growth we see in this area. As President Lee stated in his remarks, this is our primary focus, to ensure that all kids are reading at grade level by the end of third grade. Through our comprehensive analysis of outcomes by student groups, it's clear that we must recognize and address the gaps that represent disparities among our children. Addressing these gaps is the first and most significant step towards reaching equity and opening success and opportunity for all students. It is our educational imperative to ensure that all students are provided opportunities for excellence. This is why I'm proud to announce that an equity task force led by the Educational Services team will be convened and charged this year with exploring and defining equity and actions to close the opportunity and the achievement gaps for all RUSD student groups. Again, it is about student learning and well-being, every student, every day. Now there's one more indicator that I want to show you. Every district by the state is being asked to measure student engagement, or school climate. Through our partnership with Gallup, we have asked every 5th through 12th grader, approximately 20,000 students, to take a survey each year. The type of questions that are asked on the survey are, do I feel safe at school? Or, do the adults at my school care about me, and are they excited about my future? Or, do I get to do what I do best every day while at school? While student engagement across the nation has seen a dip, here in RUSD, we are seeing an increase in engagement by our students. Gallup research shows that when a student feels highly engaged at school, they are 30 times more likely to experience academic success. Student engagement is generally considered to be one of the very best predictors of learning and personal development for a student. Engagement not only drives, but also predicts school success. We need to be intentional in developing caring relationships, increasing engagement, and improving the overall culture and the climate in all of our schools. In RUSD, we have developed engagement plans at each of our schools, and we are monitoring and measuring our outcomes. We've also set an expectation for each student that they will come to school and get involved in at least 2 different activities. It might be in the arts, after-school clubs, or athletics. Moreover, we have asked every school to be intentional when measuring and increasing their student participation. One of the ways which we strive to increase engagement with our students is with our visual and performing arts. I would like to recognize and express our gratitude for the Riverside Art Museum. Last year, we partnered with them, the museum, to provide nearly 2,500 art lessons for every 3rd through 6th graders by professionally trained artists. This year, we've nearly doubled that number, and we are now providing art lessons for students in kinder through 6th grade throughout the entire year. Thank you, Drew Oberjergi. Something else that's exciting, in partnerships with the Riverside Art Museum and the City of Riverside and RUSD, Art Float is a large-scale community project where students will paint and decorate 400 spheres that will be launched into Lake Evans at Fairmount Park this May during a 3-week art festival. I am sure you could not miss the 6-foot colorful spheres that are out in the hallway as you walked in today. Lastly, we are proud to announce the completion and renovations to the Ramona High School Theater. The $17 million project upgrades the theater to a 29,000 square foot state-of-the-art theater that we can't wait to utilize. Ribbon cutting is scheduled this December. Also, under the topic of engagement, there's one thing that I believe sets RUSD apart from many other school districts. It's our dedicated focus on science, technology, engineering, and math, referred to as STEM. As our world becomes more driven by science and technology, it is important that we prepare our students to be able to keep up while also ensuring college readiness and employment opportunities. Here in our district, with our innovation and technology programs, we are absolutely producing the next generation of science and technology leaders. Let me give you a few examples on how we are leading the way. Recently recognized by the White House, RUSD is the lead district in the Inland Code Consortium. This important consortium now has 19 other school districts currently listed as our partners. Over 325 teachers have been trained in teaching computer science and computational thinking to their students in grades K through 12. This consortium has the potential to impact over 350,000 students in our region. Also next week, we will host the 2nd annual CS for All Summit. That's Computer Science for All. In addition, RUSD has partnered with organizations such as Girls Who Code, Family Code Night, Code.org, our very own UC Riverside, and Google to bring thousands of more computer science opportunities to our students. Over the past year, RUSD has trained approximately 150 of our very own teachers on Google Expeditions, which has allowed over 4,200 students to explore through this new technology, or Google Goggles, that you see on the screen. However, all of this excitement and new technology that we experienced this last year to our students today almost feels outdated when you see what we're using now to teach our lessons. On the screen, you see current Arlington High School student Maritza Rodriguez creating a digital painting in a virtual reality world. Maritza's at the back end of the room wearing some Google glasses, and she has created this painting since arriving today. Let's just look at the screen for a moment. Maritza, congratulations. If you were like me, after you get over the fascination of this technology and the realization that we are literally living in the future, your next question might be, who are the geniuses that develop these technologies? Well, did you see those students on computers when you walked in? They are the geniuses who are going to develop software like this in the near future. These are the skills we are teaching, the coding skills that we are teaching our students to prepare them for the jobs of the future, jobs that don't even yet exist. Recently, we have implemented Project Lead the Way curriculum, which has a focus on engineering and science at 2 of our elementary schools, Longfellow Elementary and Monroe Elementary, and it already exists at 4 of our elementary schools. The Riverside STEM Academy opened just 7 years ago and was ranked recently #1 performing STEM middle school and #8 ranked STEM high school in the state of California. Yes. And just last year, their first graduating class walked across the stage with a beautiful ceremony hosted at UCR. And before Chancellor Wilcox leaves, Chancellor, thank you one more time. Without the strong partnership and continued commitment of Chancellor Wilcox, UCR's faculty and staff, as well as the visionary leadership of our school board, I do not think this would have been possible. Thank you to all of you. So, as a district, how do we harness all of this STEM excitement and energy and make sure we are changing and growing at the same rapid pace that technology does? Well, you may have heard that we plan to open up a new Riverside STEM High School in partnership with UCR at the beginning of the 2021-22 school year, just 4 years from now. Can you imagine a visionary STEM high school on the UCR campus that provides an opportunity for students to receive high-level STEM-centered courses linked to relevant projects right here in our own community, such as renewable energy, air quality, bioengineering, and much more. Now consider a state-of-the-art facility with flexible space and the opportunity to take a project from design to prototype. Just last year, when we hosted the State of the District event, we were only a week and a half away from a very important election, nationally as also locally. And we, as a school district, had an important measure on the ballot. Hard to believe that it's already been a year. And like President Lee and all of the trustees, we are still so very proud of Riverside's voters, overwhelmingly who said yes to Measure O. Our community spoke loud and clear that they want to invest in safer, modernized, and more updated schools that will prepare our students for the future, allowing them to compete. Again, thank you to the community for your belief in our district and local education. Our students, families, and the entire region will greatly benefit from the improvements that Measure O provide for RUSD. And we are expected to move forward with our facilities improvement projects in the very near future. I'm also pleased to share that our board recently determined the first set of schools to begin the work. And they have also organized the Citizens Oversight Committee, who has already met twice. This committee, made up of community members, will provide oversight on how the money is spent. Essentially, they'll provide the checks and balances to be sure we are only spending the money on the projects the voters agreed to. You may not know this, but after passing Measure O, we recently sold our first series of bonds for $100 million, which is now in the bank. The district successfully attracted multiple investors because of our recent upgrade in our credit rating from Moody's, along with Standards & Poor's. And because of the district's solid financial standing and our improved credit rating, we were able to save local taxpayers nearly $2 million this first time out. You know, I could go on, but if I did, we'd be here for a few more hours to share with you all the wonderful, amazing things happening in the Riverside Unified School District. Here in this room, I don't know about you, but as I walked in the hallway today and into this room, I definitely felt the energy. And I feel the collective energy of a community who joins in our quest to make Riverside the best city in the country. And it all starts with educating and nurturing our youngest residents. The heart is an organ that makes the body function, and you are the heart of this community. And as I stand before you this afternoon, humbled and honored to be superintendent of this district, I'm humbled and honored by your commitment and passion and your dedicated service that you have for educating all students. And I'm overwhelmed by the leaders that are in this room. Teachers are teaching, leaders are leading, parents are parenting, and our partners are partnering. And most importantly, students are succeeding. And this is why, on behalf of our wonderful Board of Education, I can stand before you and say with complete confidence, we believe in Riverside. We believe in Riverside Unified. We believe in our communities, our families, and our staff, and most importantly, we believe in the capacity and potential of our students. And because of this, the state of Riverside Unified School District is strong and getting stronger every single day for every single student. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Hansen. And thank each and every one of you for joining us for lunch today. It's been wonderful. On your table, you will see a card. If you would like to hear more about opportunities for us to partner together, please fill it out and leave it with us. Otherwise, have a fantastic year, and we will see you soon.
Over here. Both ways, sorry. Perfect. Keep gliding up down. Make sure you yeah, we want to make sure we get
Go on. Yeah.